I think Star Wars racism is fine.
Okay, Star Wars. You think what?
No, I
you
mean,
think Star Wars?
Don't quote
Now
me.
there's a sound clip for us right there. That's the thing.
Well, it's cool.
That's the thing no one tells you. I love how you just tried to run past that. You're like, well, it's cool because of... No, dude.
Yeah, well, you can mask it with, instead of saying something, you're saying Wookiee, right? You would say like, hey, you damn Wookiee.
Yeah, I think Han Solo does that in some of the Star Wars things.
Yeah.
You big hairy son of a bitch. It's like, was he supposed to call him like an Italian slur or something like that? Like...
Well, you know what I love though is that they're all English twats in space. It's like, did that empire really reach the outer, limits of space? Like, I mean, they all speak English.
You have to suspend disbelief for all of it. That's the frustrating thing, is because I'm literally negotiating with myself in my head while I'm watching Star Wars. Like, how is there gravity inside these spaceships? How are we hearing sounds in space?
They're constantly doing it. I mean,
all of it.
Why?
If they have that much technology, why don't they have decent cell phones?
Yeah, you got a point. You've got a point, John.
Right?
Yeah, that is true. What are other things in Star Wars that
are you too tired to podcast right now? I know you've eaten a lot of carbs today, and it's schluff time.
But I'm still
wake
here.
the fuck up. This is Road Dogs, motherfucker.
Okay.
Road
Dogs.
I grab you by your shirt. I'm like, you'll fucking wake up and you'll make a podcast, and it'll be good. No, dude, seriously.
I'm weekend at Bernie's.
Do you not want to talk about Star Wars racism? Is it too uncomfortable at this time of day?
It's fine right now.
Let's talk about something a little bit. What's better this time of day?
Well, I think the Star
Jim
Wars
Jeffries'
racism.
last special, Jim Crow laws, Jimmy John's sandwiches. What is it?
No, I think Star Wars racism is fine.
Okay, Star Wars. You think what?
No,
you think Star Wars?
Don't quote
now.
me.
There's a sound clip for us right there. I think Star Wars racism is fine. Like, oh my God!
Hold your horses, John.
On the next episode of Cancelled, coming to NBC, Robert Thompson says that Star Wars racism is fine. I'm just joking.
No,
dude. I'm just joking.
Look, I've lost weight, but I haven't lost the bad health, like food habits. You eat a lot better than I do.
And I still can't lose weight, so it's fun.
But you have energy now. I think the carbs really did it was like a pummeling. We had Zanku chicken. Shout out to Zanku. I love Zanku chicken.
But I'm about to give them a bad Yelp review publicly. Is that what you were going to say, Robert?
Okay, can we change the name? Can we put it a different, can we call it like bleep it or something to be funny?
I ate at a chicken place recently. For legal purposes, I'm not allowed to say the name, but it does rhyme with
churches.
Schmanku Schmicken.
Schmanku, you know the story behind Schmanku Schnicken? It's like
not behind the actual thing, but I know that the story about the family having murder-suicides.
Yeah.
But they're Armenian, I think, right?
I think so.
So is that really newsworthy? I'm trying to bring it back around to Star Wars racism. In episode 1.
Yeah, all right. Wano and
Annie, you're still a slave to me. And then he gets in his white Mercedes AMG spaceship and flies away.
Yeah, I don't know. Was George Lucas hanging out in Glendale a lot when he did episode 1? Or,
listen, you can be as racist as you want, but don't you ever talk about the city of Glendale. I'm just joking. I love Glendale.
I love Glendale
but
too.
I also am just joking.
And I love Armenian people.
You can riff
I'm
on
just
it.
saying,
Yeah, I know, dude.
It sounds like, but it does.
It has the best portos out of all the portos.
Annie.
No, it's true. There's racism in Star Wars. George Lucas did a couple things that were interesting. I don't think he's racist because he married a black woman, but nothing on that? Okay. You're not going to let me publish the episode, are you?
No,
He's not.
There's definitely a ton of just fucked up backwards shit over. I mean, that's a lot of things, right? Fanta is delicious, but Adolf Hitler
founded by the Nazis. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That was founded by him. So there,
did we talk about that in our last episode?
Well, that's a running theme.
So
founded by
the Fanta, not the founder by the Nazis.
Callback last week.
It's a callback. It's a callback,
dude. It's great. It's great though to think about how we progress. Right? You can dwell on how things are bad, but Watto did let Anakin free.
Yeah, eventually he did.
It's okay, slave child. You can go.
Right? He's like, I'm giving your brother though. I need someone to put the rice on at night.
Well, yeah, we were talking about the guy also earlier before the pod. You had to be there. We were riffing on Star Wars, and it cracks me up because there's that scene in New Hope, number 4, which is really number 1 for the folks out there. Don't offend anyone, but yeah, there was that scene in the cantina, the famous scene where Luke is in the cantina. And he's getting like,
oh, dude, what do you say?
I don't like you.
He nudges him and he goes like, I'll be more careful. And he goes, No. What did he say? He doesn't like you. It's like, I don't like you either. And you're like, what nationality are they playing him off of?
Well, it's this thing. Are they like MAGA space guy?
Magas in space. With the echo. Yeah. But and then he says, what does he say? He says, I don't like you either. And then he goes like, I'll be careful. You'll be dead. And then he gets his arm chopped off, which is a pretty funny way to like serve it up to someone like, all right, are you cool now, motherfucker? Can I have a drink? Because you don't have an arm now. Should have kept your mouth shut.
And it looks like SpaghettiOs are coming out of his arms too.
I didn't zoom in on it to see what was coming out of it, but there's special effects, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty trippy. My kids saw that scene. I forgot that it was coming up and they were just like, and I was like, it's make believe, guys. It says make believe. You forget, like, if your kids are sheltered and not exposed to really trippy, like, violence and like violent conflict resolution.
Our generation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh,
I saw Terminator 2 at 5 years old.
Oh, my God.
At 5, I saw the T-1000 just cut people in half. And
I remember seeing, dude, literally we had
movie.
The wires got crossed, not just in my parents' brains, but in our cable box. And nothing on the parents' brains thing. Okay. That's the name of our podcast. Coming this fall to NBC, Children of Weird Parents.
Was it Orphan... Orphans with Parents.
Oh, that's us. Yeah, Orphans with Parents. Yeah, we raised ourselves from about the age of 9 when we realized the adults in our house don't know what the fuck's going on. Anyways, my brother and I, we're just always having our meetings like, hey man, I don't think they know what's going on. We really got to make a plan. Like an emergency plan? No, like an everyday plan and figure life out now. So, where were we?
You're talking about...
you took me on a tangent, and normally I'm pretty good at it, but...
Parents wires across Star Wars.
Oh yeah, dude. So the wires got crossed, and we had HBO for like 10 years of my childhood, like accidentally. Like we didn't pay for HBO, you know.
Yeah.
Like we just got it, and it was great. But I would flip through the channels. What do they call those TV kids? Like kids that like lay in front of the TV and sit and like you're friends with Mr. Rogers, and you watch like I guess it's just kids, right? But there's a name for it. Like there was like refrigerator kids, and like our generation, there is like a name for it.
There's a name for it.
Like thank God for PBS because I did get some good parenting there. But then Jerry Springer started taking over at the wrong age. No, I remember watching. This is so weird. I remember seeing this crazy scene. It only popped back when I bought the movie Brazil on DVD as like a 19-year-old, 19-year-old, whenever DVDs came out, and I'm watching Brazil, and the funeral sequence where he like walks through, it's like a dream sequence when he's being tortured, and he walks through his mom's funeral, and he knocks the casket over, and it's like this bloody organ skeleton salsa inside it. Like she's not really, it's like she's like a skeleton and a bunch of organs floating around. It's splashy and gross. And I immediately was like, while watching this, I'm getting hairs on my neck right now. I was like, oh my God, I saw all this when I was a child. Like it came back in a weird dream state for me because I watched that as a freaking little kid. Like Brazil's from like probably made before I was born. It's probably made like late 70s, early 80s. Brazil, Terry Gilliam. Everyone watching this was seeing Brazil. All of our fans are Brazil people. Everyone here watches Terry Gilliam movies for sure. Fair Living in Las Vegas.
Terry Gilliam, dude. Yes. Yeah. Time Bandits. Time Bandits 2 is another fucked up ending.
Terrifying movie.
Dude, the ending.
Yeah,
the parents.
It's like every good horror movie that I hate seeing that Kamel loves seeing now too. When they're like, there's like a wink from the director, like, "Oh, you know, the haunting's gonna continue, right?"
Oh,
and you're like, "Fuck, they didn't solve the problem." That's like an ADD kid's worst nightmare, just without it being scary. It's just like they didn't solve it. The equation's not done. The chore list isn't complete. Like, good God, Time Bandits is so great and terrifying at the end. There was like an argument on Reddit that Time Bandits ending was actually like a positive one about him like growing up. I read it. I read it on Reddit.
Oh, dude. Well,
this episode brought to you by Ironic Words.
Well, Robert F. Kennedy, Ross Perot, Ron Paul Jr. for Prez Hilton, 2024, John. Thank you. That was a lot to get out. I'm still dying.
This episode is going to get as little likes as we thought it would get. I can just tell.
Oh, fuck. All right, let me step it up a little bit and concur to what you were saying.
That's what motivates you? Like, this was a disaster, Robert.
No. I think that childhood movies sometimes were scarring and we didn't think about it, especially our generation, dude. Never Ending Story. All the Secret and Nim. The Brave Little Toaster.
When I got older, I rented Secret of the Nymph, and I liked it even better. Yeah. Brave Little Toaster, the 25. How many of them are there?
There was a bunch of weird sequels that came out later, but the initial one was very scarring. Land Before Time. His mama dies.
Was it between Land Before Time and The Good Dinosaur? Because I feel like they're very similar.
Yeah, Good Dinosaur is...
Ooh, it's a tearjerker.
Yeah, but I feel like it became a pattern at that time where it was like not very, because the guy that did it, he was like involved in Up, but it wasn't Pete Docter that did Up. It was this other dude who I loved his short, Partly Cloudy, that was before Up.
Yeah.
I felt like he kind of, to me, the parents dying at that point was like a trope with Pixar where it's like, let's give you a scarring parent death for you kids. Here you go. Here's another one. But who was also the old school master of that was Don Bluth in his movies, like All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh my God.
Secret of Nim. And
these are heavy movies, dude.
Feifel. Yeah,
dude, Jewish,
American
the
Tail.
Moskowitz, dude.
Is that what their name was?
Yeah, the Moskowitz. It was basically like a fiddler. It was a Jewish, Eastern European Jewish immigrants, but they were mice. Yeah.
And they go, Feifel Goes West. I
thought that was obvious, but you know what? It might just be like that Jews noticed it, like, holy shit, they're supposed to be Jews. Like Moskowitz instead of Moskowitz.
Oh,
that was their last name, was the Moskowitz.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I love that movie, though.
You don't watch Feifel Goes West every Friday night with your family after Shabbos?
Dude, Feifel Goes West slams, but Feifel, the first one, I felt like was darker. The first movie was a little bit darker because they're in New York, right?
Out there.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, Wind in the Willow. You know that? Not Wind in the Willow, sorry. I think it's Land Before Time, another Don Bluth movie. Don Bluth fucked with kids, dude.
Don't mix him up. The way you said that doesn't sound right at all. Don Bluth fucked with kids. In this day and age, you're going to get the fucking man arrested. Is he alive?
He's alive.
You're going to get the man arrested.
Old man now, but
he's not from Arrested Development, the TV show. And he didn't. And he fucked with good movies for family movies. They're called family movies. Dude,
I wanted to tell you something earlier that I found out about a guy that did work on children's shows.
Yeah. Is it more Nickelodeon documentary stuff?
Yes, and it disturbed me because I met this guy once at a ska show. And he did animation. Dude, he started, our buddy sent us a thing of him. Like, this guy's making
headlines. Buddy sent us a thing of him?
It's telling us about him getting busted.
That was a random weird text to get.
That was
from a friend that I was just like, okay.
But it's fine.
We had a buddy send us a text of a guy who's got busted. He knew that, for, what was he, a pervert?
Yeah.
He sent us in a group thread, and we're just like,
something.
We don't know. He's not a comic or anything, right?
Well, he knows some comics.
Oh, okay. That's maybe why I said it too. I was like, hey, don't have this guy on your show.
No, I met him once.
By the way, come to Fruit Dogs Comedy at Party's Beanery. But you're not allowed in if you're on Megan's Law.
It's so disturbing.
Should we put that disclaimer there? If you're on Megan's Law, you can't come to our show.
Yeah. Or be allowed. Yeah, you're not allowed within 40 feet of Barney's Beanery.
Stay far out there, away from us, you creep.
I don't know. I didn't want to make that sound like Don Bluth was, doing wrong stuff.
But you did, and now you got him canceled because people don't read the article; they just listen to the headline.
Well, what I'm saying is they were intense, sort of emotionally for kids, which I don't think is always a bad thing because life is like that. But yes, sometimes it's heavy. Like your kids. You guys do a better job at like kind of looking at what
we're doing our best. I don't know if we're doing it right. I mean, my wife is the smart one, and thank God for that. And I don't know if we're doing it right.
Fucked up kids.
Dude, our friend Stretch has that hilarious joke where he's talking about like his kid was crying about something and nagging them for something, and his wife got down on his level and said, "Hey, Ra, like I know you're feeling this way, and as your mommy, I really want you to have that thing." But also as your mommy, I want to make sure that you understand that like you can't just have what you want whenever you want. And he said, and then the kid kept crying. So then I picked him up and I screamed at him. He's like, that didn't work either. And I forgot what the moral of the joke was, but it was pretty funny, like because the gist was just like, you think like I read some books or as my wife is very educated and experienced in it from a professional level. And then you like interact with your kids and you're like, I hope this is right.
Yeah.
I hope I did it the right way. Also, one thing I don't hear enough talk about is if there's got to be like a 10 key personality types that people have, and you have to apply the different types of learning, teaching disciplines and whatever else to them. So like a certain kind of kid that has a certain tendency to do this thing might respond better to like a parent being like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, move or you are grounded. That might actually help them learn like the right way to process the stuff in their head. And then another kid, it destroys them and makes them into, a non-able to communicate with their family kind of. But there's nothing like that I know of, but I don't know of a lot of stuff. So there probably is something like that.
Well, like
now that I said it out loud, I'm like, there's probably like a book about that exact thing. I just haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's why I tell my wife with our kids, I'm like, figure it out, babe. Figure it out. I thought he would laugh at that, but he's very tired, obviously.
No.
You're a real wacky podcast partner right now. I'm really
It's all right, John.
I gave you $20 before the episode. I said, just laugh when I give you the punchline indicator is me looking at the camera and nodding. You haven't.
No, dude. I'm here, John. I may be a little under the radar because...
You look like you ate a pot brownie, but all you had was some challah.
I know, dude. Is that what they call it? Machala?
No, challah, the bread. Challah at your boys.
Challah, man.
Challah, happy holidays. Have you ever seen those sweatshirts that the Jews around like UCLA will wear? Like you'll see like a girl with a shirt, it'll say like happy holidays. It'll have a piece of challah on it.
Oh, that's clever.
Challah at your boys with a Z.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
dude.
that, dude. I like challah a lot, dude. It was very tasty.
Hell yeah, dude.
Dude, that was fun, man.
Good
I had
answer.
dinner. I had a shabu dinner.
Shabu Shabbos.
Shabu Shabbos.
The Japanese are Jew. Shabu Shabbos. Happy Good Shabu Shabbos. Dude, I wish we were half Japanese.
Man,
I would
if you could
eat
be
such better
half
foods.
something else, would you be half Ewok or half Wookiee or half Japanese? What would you want to be, John?
I don't want to be something that could fly, to be honest with you. Like half eagle. What's another cool bird? Crows are smart.
Did you fly already?
Yeah. If you click your heels, bro, don't you fly? God, you people are. But how do you run the media? Like just some guy. You ever had like a dude rag on you for shit like that? And you're like, good God. I've had some hecklers. I used to do some shows in Glendale, so I've had some funny hecklers.
Yeah.
Hell, I've had
there's a
hecklers
lot
when I wasn't even on stage. I was just walking by a park and like 12 old Armenian men like playing chess, just yelling at me.
Do they riff on you ever? Like,
Mostly if they can tell you're not one of them or I could pass for like a young Armenian dude and they're not interested. They can just tell that I'm not running some sort of game or making a bunch of money, doing anything to be proud of, I don't work for a church. I don't own some sort of business.
how long did you live in Glendale? You guys
3
were there
days.
for a minute, right?
3 days. It was an intense 3 days.
3 days.
We were there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's a great place, dude. Our landlord, sweetest old Armenian lady, the manager that lived there, Eric and Sean. Sean was the dude's name. Eric was the wife's name. It's like had a different spelling. And he was like this sweet, kind of reminded me of my dad, like a really nice dude. And then the wife, Eric, was like a little bit more like, and he would just like, I'll be right there, but they were super awesome. And it was a great place to, like, they were awesome landlords. And when we told them that we were moving out, they were super sad. And she's like, you're going into LA. It's so dangerous there. And we were like in Glendale, like in the main area of Glendale too. Like I literally had a car. Did I ever tell you that time I was rubbing one out and a car exploded outside the window of my apartment? And I literally got up with my dick in my hand, like, what the fuck's looking out the window?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude.
No, I've never heard this story.
Dude,
you were beating off.
I was beating off. I can't believe I'm publicly. Well, I guess I can believe
Is it a sin
I
or
tell everything
something?
publicly. I'm like, why do I feel uncomfortable? Is it because it's later in the day right now or what? Like, why do I feel bad about saying it?
No, this is fascinating, dude.
Yeah, I was beating off and I was alone in my apartment and I heard when something explodes and it like rattles everything, it's not just like a sound. Like you hear the and like everything and you're like, what the fuck was that? And I look out my window and there was a car like that had exploded. There's a lot of like mob kind of like organized crime stuff around there too. Whoa. And we'd have ghetto birds like every night. So it was really funny when like the landlord lady was like, it's so dangerous. And I was like, we moved to Los Feliz. Like it's safer than in Glendale.
Dude, with them, did you ever keep in contact with the old landlord lady?
I didn't, man. It's one of those things where you don't have anything to talk about much. And she was an old lady. I mean, this is so long ago now. She might not be with us. She was an old lady.
Yeah.
Like one of those old people that owns an apartment, like a 10 unit or whatever in Glendale. Those types.
Yeah, so she's probably
dead or her kids took over or whatever.
Yeah.
She was really nice though. And the manager, like I said, they were the sweetest people. Like if you had a problem there, it was just like fixed. Like, hey, can you get this thing repaired? Like that day, like new air conditioning unit. My God, like that's what I love about like small time like mom and pop real estate investors. Like they actually care and it's like their property and they're not like trying to like the cap rate's got to be right so we can flip this thing and get rich real quick and not pay any taxes. It's like it's really just like a mom and pop like people that like saved up and they put their instead of putting it in the stock market. Not saying that's bad, but they did something tangible with it and created housing for people and they treated us freaking great.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's my great story.
Back off in the exploding cars.
That story's so dirty. I wouldn't tell her that story now because it's an old lady that probably be like, "You were what in my apartment?" Like she'd probably be all freaked out.
No wonder the door was sticky, bro.
Yeah.
No wonder we couldn't open the door.
After you moved out, Eric broke his hip, slipped on something slimy on the floor, and now we know. And then like a lawyer calls me, hello, it's Wano from Star Wars.
Hey,
I'm representing the building you stay at. They are suing you for $3 million. Your cum made Eric's hip break in half. He is bedridden from your cum.
Anakin, go clean up cum in apartment 305. Dude, so the crazy thing I've ever heard is from you.
So mature.
Okay, now I know that you've lived in a lot of crazy places because you've jacked off, had a car explode. Is this the same spot?
I didn't cause the car to explode. That would have been cool.
Was there a correlation, dude?
Like as you come, the car explodes. You're like, whoa, jeez, that was good.
Well, what's that David Cronenberg movie where they get hot from the car accidents? Crash.
I never saw it.
Yeah, they get
horny from car accidents
from car crashes.
I do love me some Cronenbergen.
Yeah, I think.
Speaking of Jews, Cronenberg.
Yeah,
Cronenbergenwitz.
Yeah, video drone skivage. Video drone. Okay, I'm tired.
What was the one that Jude Law was in? Like one of his later ones that was so good. Existences. Existence is the video game one that you can't tell.
I think that's a.
It was so
a dick pill.
No, it's not. It does sound like a dick. Extends. No, it's like Existence or something like that. It's about a video game that you can't tell that you're in, and Jude Law's in it, and it's so freaking good.
I love
it's so good. Movies. It almost reminds me of that one. This is like a movie episode, I guess. It almost reminds me. I guess most of it, except for the part about the Glendale. That's more about a porn movie episode.
I did have a question,
which I don't remember what I was watching, by the way, so don't ask.
Yeah.
What did you watch that made you come so hard you blew a car up? But because I'm going to look it up right now. I don't know, but it was on X Hamster. Anyways, anything with a hamster logo in it, I'll watch. Right? I love cartoon hamsters. Okay. It was like that one movie that what's his name did, where the Leonardo DiCaprio, where they're spinning the fucking dreidel and they're hopping through the dreams. Inception, but it was way better than Inception for me. Not for other people. I can't speak objectively for you, but for me, it topped Inception. It wasn't as sleek and cool. It was like an Apple, like less of an Apple computer and more of like a really beat up, like built like crazy Windows computer that your buddy built.
A lot of texture,
like a little chunkier, weird, a little bit more like, like weird, like
grimy
80s heavy metal biomech looking, Cronenberg stuff.
Yeah.
But dude, so good. So fucking interesting and weird and good and less trying to be cool and pretentious and more just like, whoa, that's trippy shit, man.
They're visceral nuts movies. Eastern Promises.
Visceral nuts, dude. Coming this fall to NBC. Visceral nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just starring you and me.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, what do you think this microphone's actually made of? Can I eat it? All right, go on. Sorry.
Viggo Mortensen fights naked in that movie, and you could see his dong and balls. One? Eastern Promises.
I haven't seen that.
That's like he's a cat. One of the one cat.
Is that a Russian mafia movie?
Yeah, it's about. I haven't seen it in forever, but it came out like 2008, I think.
This is the worst movie episode ever.
I know, shit.
We start talking about movies and go, what was it about? I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember too much.
Click like and subscribe if you want to hear more about movies we don't know what we remember about.
David Cronenberg and his son are good filmmakers. His son just started making movies, and they're
oh
great.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's his son doing?
His son did. He just did something recently. No, that was David Cronenberg. I saw a movie that he did that was great, but the first movie that he did, I'm trying to remember the name. It was during COVID that I watched. It was very impressive.
You guys still watching?
Yeah.
Okay.
The story was gnarly, dude.
Just teasing you, bud.
I know.
Okay.
But I want to find it now.
You can't look up stuff on your phone. You're on a podcast. Fuck. This is live broadcasting.
Cronenberg, check it out. But what is very Cronenberg also and scary is something that happened in another place that you lived. I don't know if it's that location. That's what I was getting at.
Are you going to bring back scary thoughts to me that I haven't had for a while? Where? What happened?
Dude, Kamel told me about the tweaker guys that were running around in your house.
Oh, that was terrifying.
Where was that?
That was the best of times and the worst of times. That was, God, where was that? That was off Wilshire. Yeah, that was off Wilshire. That was like one of the last apartments we lived in. In
Burnside or Burnside.
That was on Burnside.
Yeah, dude, you guys were there for
that was a weird time. That's a long story. How long's this podcast? All right,
dude. Yeah,
so
it's
one day
wild.
I come home. I think I come home from work or something like that. Maybe I came home from the road, I think. And I freaking come in my house. I take a shower. I get out of my shower and I go like, where's my freaking bike? And I had like a road bike that my brother helped me get after I got married. It was $600, which was like super expensive for me. Like now you look back at like $600 bike, like that's nothing for what a freaking bike costs these days. But at the time, like, I don't know, 20 years ago, whatever.
It's a movie date.
Dude, maybe it was 20 years, 10 years ago. Like that's a freaking nice ass bike at that time for me. It still wasn't even that expensive 10 years ago. Anyways, I'm sorry, guys. Tangent-y. My bike's gone. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I know I have my bike here. And then I call Kamel and I'm like, hey, dude, like, something's weird. Did somebody like, is someone playing a prank on me or something like that? Like my bike's gone, but everything else was normal. Like I got out of the shower and I'm like walking around, I'm like, huh. So everything else is normal. And then freaking Cavell's like, dude, I think his like iPad was gone or something like that, or his laptop, like something was gone. And then we're like, wait, what? And then Cavell's like, oh, the door, it was like a multi-level apartment. And the door, we were on the top floor, so the door was to the roof. And he's like, the door was open. And I was like, what? And then we went and found our neighbors, and they were like, yeah, we got broken into. There's these guys that like have been like these crackheads. And one of our neighbors, this guy David, a big French jarred depardieu French guy, telling me that like they've had all their shit like stolen before. And he's like, there's this like redheaded, and I don't want to cause any violence to redheads, dude. Like you gotta be careful when you say race or gender. We've all seen Zootopia, right? Which is a great Disney film, by the way. He's like, there's this redhead dude. He's like a crackhead dude. And he's like, I've been telling the management, I was like, all this is going on. No one's fucking told me we've got a crackhead like just wandering around our building. And it was a big pain in the ass. Come to find out, by the way, just a side note, speaking of bad real estate people, like we're talking about the good ones in Glendale that we had. We've got some like Beverly Hills guy that's there for all the ribbon cutting and like all the big like Beverly Hills hotshot shit. He's the guy who owns our building and is like a total slumlord that's like rich, driving some fancy car around and like hanging out in Beverly Hills, and he's like donating money to schools and all that stuff. And he's a total slumlord. And we ended up just like being like, fuck this, because while we were there, we called the cops, got a hell of a nice cop. He's sitting down on our couch. We're going over stuff. While we're there, the crackhead comes back in the house. The cop had to leave for something, and we're like, dude, the fucking upstairs, they got back in again. Like while we're fucking giving the report to the cop, and they probably come in, heard that we were there, and we're like, and skedaddle out. And I had seen this guy before too, by the way, like in the parking lot under the building, and been like, who's that guy like standing in the shadows, like those weird, like Dennis Leary from Judge Dredd? You're like, who is that over there? Like, what's going on? I had my bike stolen, all this shit, other bikes stolen too. That's my second LA bike stolen. Not a $600 bike twice though. The first one was like a $200 Gary Fisher. Anyways, I'm fine. Yeah, dude. And then we went and we stayed in, I think that's most of the story, but we went.
They jerked off in your room and a car exploded?
I don't know, but they were just cracked out. They stole stuff that they could sell. Kamel's grandpa had handed him down like a ring from like his Lebanese, like great Lebanese grandmother or something that he never met.
What the fuck,
like jewelry from Lebanon.
Wow.
That like from like old
Phoenician.
school. Yeah.
Phoenicians,
so
it's like the first alphabet.
It survived like the Library of Alexandria burning down, and somehow his grandpa gave it to him. And that was stolen by them, probably in the pawn shop. Probably some dude's probably wearing it on his pinky right now.
Oh my God.
Ironically, it'd be funny if it's like it's in Glendale, right on the street we used to live on too. Like, bro, we came full circle, bro. But we stayed. We took the cats. That was the big thing that we both were like, okay, the cats are safe. Like that was the biggest thing. That would have been, obviously, I don't have to say it. Thank God they didn't hurt our cats. I mean, I don't know if they did anything to they're like, with our cats sticking their fingers in our cats' butts, and then we're like, we'll never know because cats can't tell you that shit. So you're like, did they hurt you? Did you see anything? Did they have weird gay crackhead sex on our couch? It didn't smell like it, but Bushi can't tell me what happened through his eyes. So anyways, so we take the cats because I'm like, after that second time when they broke in, we were just like, take our stuff, pack it up. We're going to a fucking hotel right now. And my brother said, come stay with us in Torrance. And this is like, no, I don't want to bring the cats there, blah, blah, blah. It's too far. And I have to go to work. And I was just like, okay, dude, fine. You just do whatever your wife says. Ralphie May used to always say, happy life, happy wife. Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Okay. Yes. Okay. We won't go to my brother's house. We'll fucking pay for a motel. So we pay for a motel. And mind you, I'm broke as fuck. Like I'm a broke comic. Fine. We pay for a fucking motel. And while we're in the motel, first night we're sleeping there, it's just us and our cats, like all like just like trying to like, we're just shooken up already. It's the night that there was that crash in like off the Main Street Ventura in the valley, like right there in like Sushi Row where the motel was. That young Armenian kid like fucking flipped a car. He was going like 100 and something, like max speed on Ventura at 4 a.m, and the car basically exploded. This is a different car that exploded than my Glendale car, but it probably is a Glendale car now that I think about it.
Was he pod racing?
It was. Like we were already traumatized with like what is it called? Like the adrenaline going, like trying to sleep it off. Like what the fuck was all that about in our apartment? Like we're just displaced all of a sudden. And then the explosion was so loud. It knocked over like telephone poles and blah, blah, blah. And I remember like the vibration of it was so big. And it wasn't like right outside our door. It was like right around there that when we went outside, dude, like people were gathering around us like 3 or 4 in the morning, something like that, right? And we're like, what the hell happened? And I remember asking like the firefighter, like, is the guy all right? And he like chuckled like, no, he's not all right. He's fucking vapor. Like, I remember him like just kind of chuckling like, no, like why would you ask that? Like it was a block away and the explosion like woke you up like, yeah, they're working on him right now.
Yeah, he's got some Tylenol. He'll be all right.
They're stitching him back up right now with a sponge.
Dude, he lives. He just doesn't have cock and balls. That's
dude.
like all that happened. He just
That's
loses.
hilarious. No, that poor guy, he was dead. So that was a very dramatic trip. And but we found a great apartment right after that. Moved in.
That's great. You got out of that.
Worked out from there, and then we made our baby, and then we got the fuck out of LA because I don't know how to raise a city kid.
Well, so speaking of the guy that exploded and is like, just dust.
Are you thinking about A Piece That Remains?
Yes.
I knew you were gonna go.
Yeah,
I didn't know you were
dude.
gonna go there while I was saying it, but now. Good call. You're a good ad reader. A piece that remains. D. We'd like to send you that guy's remains, but this was years ago, and also it would have been liquid mush guts.
Yeah, he was soup. He's not alive.
You send it to her in a Ziploc bag.
Can you put him in like Campbell's soup or something, like a stew, a little gumbo jambalaya,
and still a gel slab remains. Just a Ziploc bag. Like the earwax from freaking Little Monsters, just like a jelly bag. Here you go. Can you make this into something, D? She would, because D is so respectful. Unlike us, she will respect you.
Yeah, she would do.
She really is the best.
It's amazing what she offers. I mean, she can collect different. So D has a service where loved ones, for loved ones, they can collect different pieces from their lives. Like you could get, maybe a necklace to remember them by or whatever. All these different memorial
Beautiful jewelry.
things.
She's made paintings.
She makes them into amazing things.
She'll do a lot of cool stuff for you. So what you want to do, here's her graphic. Tell D we said, what's up? Tell her we sent you. She loves us. And let's talk about our next sponsor, dude.
Yeah, Zwick, man. Zick Glass.
He said Zick Glass?
Zwick Glass. He rules. We love him.
Oh, dude, Thomas is he said the best. When he takes it a glass, he makes it like a pesto. It is so tasty. It is so beautiful. The man makes a glass. He makes a glass for that ass.
It does look like, not like an ass. It looks amazing. All the stuff I've seen.
If an ass looked like that, you'd be like, I don't know what to think. I don't want to shit out of it because it's so beautiful. If an ass looked like Zwick Glass, dude.
Well, I'm sure he'd agree because it's beautiful.
Suck my Zwick.
Suck my Zwick.
Is he making glass art? Suck my Zwick. That's Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Glass Magic.
And that's what he does. Dude, check out Zwick Glass.
Here's his graph.
Oh, dude, I love our sponsors, and I love whoever listens. And dude, guys, you got to see me and Jon in Pasadena. We're having a blast.
Pasadena is the best.
Barney's Beanery.
Barney's Beanery every Wednesday. Doors open at 8:30. Wednesday, Barney's Beanery, Pasadena. Road Dogs Comedy. It is so much fun. Our friend Stretch kills it there. Our friend Dustin kills it there. Nat Bamel, Rel Battle, Nathaniel Hurd. You heard the word. Dude, the list goes on. Keith, Tom Goss, Keith Carey. Keith Carey, which is
McKenna Gerald.
Dude, McKenna's so good.
The cast man.
Oh, cast man comes in. The cast man's a huge part of the show, so he's just always there rocking it with us.
Kevin Tinkin.
Christine Little. Like, it's just a awesome show. Lala, Neff.
Yeah, CG.
I can never get an F of Chris Neff. It's really just, it's a great show. Zane Helberg.
Yeah.
That's my road dog. My road dog Zane comes by. I mean, it's something else. So Wednesdays, Barney's Pasadena, 8:30 doors open. Show usually starts about 9:30.
Dude, Jon, this has been a beautiful episode because I feel like we've dealt with some childhood trauma, stuff we were exposed to.
My childhood trauma?
And some other trauma, like seeing cars explode while jacking off.
Yeah, like I feel like all we did was deal with my trauma, and you just sat there and you just were like, "I'm fine.
I was
Nothing wrong with me."
in it.
Thanks,
I mean,
man.
I don't know. It was very interesting.
Good. I'm
we
glad.
all have trauma, but I think we'll have to delve into it.
And next time you guys are like watching a car explode, like think of me.
Yeah, think of Jon. And on that note, we love you guys.
Love you guys.